It's finally here, boys. The frequency of minor settlement battles in Total War Warhammer 3 campaigns has been addressed. No longer will you have to play 600 minor settlement battles in a campaign, and you can enjoy more land battles. But how exactly does it work? Well, first thing to note is that sieges will remain the same. Capital cities of a province will be a siege as normal every single time. But minor settlement battles are now tied to the garrison building at tier 2 and 3, which means a minor settlement without this building will always be a land battle until this building is constructed, and then it will turn into a minor settlement battle. So in the case of this province, Grunberg has no garrison building, so that will always be a land battle. And then Ubersreich, a bit of an anomaly, this will be a siege because it has the Red Moon Inn building, and then Isleheart with the garrison building will now be a minor settlement, and then of course Altdorf will be a siege. And just another example over here in the Marienburg area. Marienburg will of course be a siege. Gorsel currently is only a land battle, but on the next turn I will build the guardhouse, the garrison building, thus it will become a minor settlement battle. So there it is. What do you reckon? It's pretty much the fix we kind of imagined, because it's the same as Warhammer 2 is, sort of. When you build the walls you get a siege. Well, in this you do the same thing, but you get a minor settlement battle. However, there is maybe the worry that in late game we might start to see lots of garrison buildings and thus lots of minor settlement battles. So we'll have to see how it goes. I personally haven't tried it yet. I got this update the same time as you. I didn't get early access or anything, so I don't really know yet, but it's good that the changes in there all the same. For me at least, this is a huge relief and now will make campaigns much more enjoyable. It's not that I hated minor settlements, I just didn't want to play them so often, and now that should be the case. So I can enjoy one every now and again, and hopefully it'll work out as a nice balance between land battles, minor settlement battles, and sieges. Preferably, for me at least, the majority being land battles, but a bit of everything. So hopefully we can all enjoy minor settlement battles a little bit more because they're not so often, even though minor settlements do have their own problems of being a bit too choke point heavy in the whole pop-up tower supply system. But we'll see what they're going to do about that. They said in the same blog that was talking about this that they are looking at that, so we'll see what they do with that too. But one thing to remember with this new minor settlement system is that it is kind of a double-edged sword. These garrison buildings are now going to be way more important to build because it's going to be a lot harder to defend your settlements without them being a defensible minor settlement with arrow towers and such. So we're going to be fighting a lot more land battles, which are a bit more even generally than attacking a defending town. Like here, for example, in the Cathay campaign, I've taken a bunch of settlements, but I'm not really defending down south at all, although there is the risk that Helman Gorst might come after me, and this settlement down here, right in the south, doesn't have a garrison building, so that's going to be a land battle, and if he comes at me with a small army, it's going to be a lot harder for me to win that battle and keep that settlement than it was before these changes. Although perhaps you're used to that if you've been using the mods to get rid of minor settlements. But yeah, things to keep in mind. And lastly, a few other cool things coming to the game with this update. There's now a Skaven endgame scenario, the Vermintide, bring along the end times, and end up with rats all over your face. So that's cool to see. We've got the Ultimate Crisis mode as well, that's been in there before, but that's now going to have the Skaven in there too. And there's Enable Diplomacy for scenario factions, so it's easier to make peace deals and confederations in preparation to try and save all yourselves from the end times that seem to be coming. So that's all pretty cool. We've also got some new Regiments of Renown units, I'll go over those in a separate video tomorrow. And one for the multiplayer kids, you can now separately queue for land battles or domination battles. This for me is a big winner because I haven't really touched multiplayer at all in Warhammer 3 because I don't really like domination. I just wanted to be able to play land battles without anything else kind of in the way. So now being able to queue just for land battles, I might actually give this a try again. But there we go, a few nice changes coming with this update, especially the minor settlements of course. And kudos to CA for actually fixing this and listening to their community. The majority of players, including myself, weren't happy with the amount of minor settlements, and they've now done something about it. I think it's good that CA have tried some things out with Warhammer 3. That's the only way you're going to innovate and make things better, but sometimes things don't work out and you have to admit when they're wrong, and that's what they've done by reverting these changes back to how Warhammer 2 was for the most part. So yeah, it's good to see. The only thing I think they might have missed an opportunity with here is to maybe instead make these changes optional by adding a toggle switch at the start of the campaign, just like the endgame scenarios, where you can choose to have the game as it's always been with loads of minor settlement battles, or you can have it the new way with less, because I think there are going to be some people that did like minor settlement battles, and they are going to be disappointed with these changes, so there's no reason why you can't add a toggle switch to the start of the campaign and please everybody. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, thanks for watching, I will see you with the flip.